The boy scooped a spoonful of air to his lips, blowed on it, then popped it into his mouth. The man across from him chuckled at the strange gesture. He stirred his coffee, and the boy mimicked him with earnest imitation. He hadn't eaten in days. An accident days ago had brought saroo to this unfamiliar city. While his home lay in a small mountain village 1,600 kilometers away, his father had passed away early. Their mother supported the three siblings by hauling stones. The older brother shouldered the burdens of life. That day, the brother planned to sneak out for odd jobs. Saroo followed, pounding his chest and declaring he wanted to help too. The brother said he was too young. He lifted a chair above his head to prove his strength, but the brother still refused. Then, with his frail frame, he wobbled as he hoisted a bicycle. Seeing his brother's stubborn resolve, he finally agreed. Little did they know this decision would alter their destinies forever. His brother brought him to a nearby train station. They were actually scavenging for leftovers from others. But soon, a whole day passed with the brothers finding nothing. Exhausted, saroo was drifting off to sleep. His brother had no choice but to lay him down on a bench. Soon, the next train pulled into the station. The older brother could only urge saroo to stay put, while he went searching for food again. Before leaving, he promised to bring back saroo's favorite candy ears, but the older brother never returned. When saroo woke up, the station was deserted. He couldn't resist boarding the train to look for his brother. He searched every carriage but found no trace of him. Exhausted, saroo drifted off to sleep, but upon waking, he discovered the train had already started moving. The carriage was completely empty. Not a soul in sight. He tried every possible way to get out, but couldn't. He shouted for help, hoping someone would notice him, but his cries were drowned out by the train's whistle. Worse still, this was a decommissioned train that wouldn't stop anywhere along the way. Starving, he found an apple core, his first meal in days. Suddenly, he noticed the train slowing down, like grabbing a lifeline. He rushed off the train. The station bustled with crowds. He climbed to a high spot and shouted his brother's name, but only the clamor of the crowd answered him. He was now 1,600 kilometers from home, having traveled from one end of the country to the other. His family wasn't here. He tried asking adults for help, but no one had heard of his hometown. He mimicked adults and approached the ticket counter. Standing on tiptoe, he uttered his hometown's name, but this was the other side of the country. They spoke a different language. No one understood his words. Adults thought he was causing trouble. No one offered help. They even shooed him away. Abandoned, he followed a homeless little girl. Here was a group of children like him, without homes, but saroo dared only watch from afar. A kind boy noticed his distress, and gave him a piece of cardboard for a blanket. This was the only kindness saroo had felt in days. Exhausted, he fell into a deep sleep, starving and freezing. But soon, cries for help woke him. A group of traffickers stormed into the dim tunnel, arbitrarily snatching up the homeless children. Saroo seized the chance to slip away. A burly man pursued relentlessly behind him, spotting police officers at the tunnel's end. Saroo slowed his pace in relief, yet the officers showed no intention of helping him. Saroo had no choice but to flee once more. The police did not apprehend the perpetrators. Such incidents occurred almost daily, and they had long grown accustomed to it. Saroo had to rely solely on himself to escape the station, narrowly dodging a speeding bus. He plunged into a dim alley before the man finally gave up. Saroo had narrowly escaped disaster. At dawn, he returned to the station to retrieve his bedding, intending to walk home along the railroad tracks. He only knew he had arrived by train, believing following the tracks would lead him home. A woman who also spoke Hindi found him. Learning of Saroo's plight, she kindly took him home, feeding him a full meal and giving him a bath. But saroo didn't know she had ulterior motives. That night, she told him a man would come the next day to help him find his family. Saroo believed her. The following morning, a man appeared at his bedside. He examined Saroo's body meticulously. Before leaving, he told the woman this was the type he was looking for. This strange behavior immediately alarmed Saroo, so he slipped away unnoticed when the woman wasn't looking. He escaped danger once more, avoiding being sold into slavery. Thus began 2 months of wandering, until one day, a man in a coffee shop found him. The man kindly took him to the police station, but Saroo couldn't speak Bengali. He could only barely utter the name of his village and his own name. The police had never heard of the village. They could only help Saroo place a missing person's notice, and temporarily send him to a children's shelter. But this place was far from the paradise he imagined. Lucky children might be adopted by kind families, while the unlucky ones would stay here forever. Some were even taken away at night. But this life of constant fear soon came to an end. Volunteer Mrs. Sud informed Saroo that the police had published a missing poster in the newspaper, but there had been no response so far. However, a kind Australian couple was willing to adopt him. It was a place Saroo had never heard of, though Mrs. Sud told him it was as beautiful as paradise. Saroo couldn't muster any joy. He only wanted to return to his mother. Before leaving, he cautiously asked Mrs. Sud for confirmation.
सब जगह ढूंढा.
After receiving her confirmation, Saroo finally gave up hope. He resolved to go to Australia with peace of mind. His adoptive parents were incredibly kind. They warmly welcomed Saroo into their home. Here, there was not only an endless supply of delicious food, but also a beautiful room of his own. Compared to his previous life of wandering, this place was pure paradise. Saroo experienced a happiness he had never known before. 20 years slipped by in the blink of an eye. The once homeless boy had grown into a handsome young man, but after a class reunion, Saroo's peaceful life was shattered once more. At an Indian classmate's home, he happened to see the sugar ears he'd longed for as a child. Instantly, Childhood memories flooded back. He recalled his brother saying before he vanished that he'd bring back sugar ears for him. He realized he could never truly leave his past behind, thinking his family might still be waiting for him to return. He began secretly investigating the location of his hometown by researching the train's speed back then and multiplying it by his travel time. He roughly calculated he'd been 1,600 kilometers from home, using the station where he'd gotten off as the center. He determined his family must be within a 1,600 kilometer radius, but searching this way yielded nothing. Then one day, randomly moving his mouse, he spotted a familiar place just outside the circle. Memories flooded back instantly. It was precisely where he had run every day as a child. He continued searching nearby until he reached a train station. There stood a tall water tower, just as he remembered. This was the station where he had been separated from his family. One familiar scene after another unfolded before his eyes, crossing the river from his memories. He kept running toward home. After passing through a forest, he finally saw his village. It turned out he had misspelled his hometown's name all along. With each click of the mouse, he pinpointed the exact location of his home. Saroo immediately shared the news with his adoptive mother. She rejoiced with him and encouraged him to find his family. After 25 years, he returned to his long-lost hometown, guided by his memories. He crossed the river and traversed the forest. Everything in his hometown seemed largely unchanged, but when he found the old house, it had become a sheep pen. He showed a childhood photo to an elderly passerby. Upon learning Saroo had lived there, the old man left in astonishment. Yet soon, the old man reappeared. After a few steps, Saroo saw a white-haired elderly woman approaching him. It was his mother, whom he hadn't seen in 25 years, and she recognized her son at once. 25 years had passed, yet she had never left the village, believing her son would return someday. Sadly, his brother had been struck and killed by a train that night, the reason he never waited for his brother. After their reunion, Saroo shared the good news with his adoptive mother. Though he had found his birth mother, it could not diminish the place she held in his heart.
I love you, Mum, so much. And you, Dad.
This film, adapted from a true story, is also a tale of love. His birth mother waited for her son's return for 25 years without fail. His adoptive mother filled the void in Saroo's family bonds with her selfless love. It must be said perhaps this world is indeed full of holes and cracks, but there are always those willing to mend and patch them up.